the road again. Monday, 7th of September 2024. There's a bit of rain about, a couple of spots. Hopefully we get through to Cordillo Downs today to have a look at the shearing shed. Some old sheep or cattle yards on the side of the road here. A couple of drops of rain. So they're sheep yards because they're not that high. The ground's getting a bit moist. Unfortunately, that's what happens when you're a bit slow. We're heading to Cordillo Downs, Australia's largest shearing shed, I believe. We're just coming up to the South Australia-Queensland border. Cordillo Downs is in South Australia. So we're at the border of South Australia and Queensland, heading to this Cordillo Downs station, certified organic beef cattle. Nice new cattle grid here. Sand dunes around this area are really red. Just came across this waterhole, little billabong, Mariana waterhole it's called. A great little spot to camp, I reckon. Cordillo Downs. The structure on the left is the shearing shed. This place had its own scouring plant installed in 1885. The wool was cleaned before it was baled and shipped to England, which removed up to 40% of the weight, which made it more economical to transport. Now this machinery for the scour, including 7 large steam engines, was brought up to Strzelecki by wagons. The trip took 9 months and 2 weeks. At Inaminka, the Cooper was rising. The teamsters had to put 52 bullocks on one wagon to get it across the swollen river, or creek. By 1891, the station produced 1,400 bales of scoured wool, and it was carted to Freen or Lyndhurst by camel. The station was part of Beltana Pastoral Company's holdings, and has survived isolation, droughts and floods, and for more than 60 years produced quality wool for the world market. She's a ripper shed. The Cordillo Downs shearing shed was built in 1883, and it was constructed of sandstone rubble with a curved corrugated iron roof, which was self-supporting, so you didn't need large wooden frames to hold it up, and this gave you more room inside. It had 88 stands, which means it had 88 shearers shearing sheep. By 1890 it had 120 stands. It had a steam-driven wool press, probably driven by the steam boiler over here. I wonder if all these old timbers are off the original shearing shed here. The record number of sheep shorn here in one season was 82,000 head in 1888. And this was done with hand shears, not wide kiwi gear. Pretty rocky down through this Needle Creek. Must be a high water flow when they get a bit of rain around the place. Lots of birds come out of hollows when we walk along here. We won't hang around too long. I had a go at this one. The white koi. This is the southern side of Mariana Creek.
Rough coming down here, John.
We go heading towards Innaminga now, Arrowberry via Nappamerry. Down this track. Just driving up here, I spotted an old tank. Just to see what it looks like. There is a new tank there as well, so there might be cattle around. I don't want to disturb them. Come and have a look, there's a bit of a billabong up here.
What's that, Mark?
Come and have a look, there's a bit of a billabong up here too.
Righto.
They usually have somebody do a bit of reconnaissance before everybody comes through. There's the old tank. There's the old bore. They would have had a windmill on it at some stage. Solar now. Not much left of the old tank. I would have had sheep or cattle yards here at one stage. Nice cattle trough there at the moment. A lot of silt in there, built up over the years, all the minerals. And there's the water trough. And some finches over here. Well, they were. Nice red sand dune makes a pretty backdrop to this little billabong here. Plenty of doves calling out. Local watering hole for the cattle. Like a ducks down there. Not sure what just ducked under the water there. Finches. Wonder if that was a hat of a windmill. Something else over here. Some sort of gear. Check that out. It's got something written on it. I'll have a look, eh? Looks like a turntable or something. Hunt and go. Something written on here as well. Well, here. Need a bit of lubricant on a turntable. I think it was a horse works. Something you attach your horse to that goes round and round and pumps water or grinds wheat. Just coming across to check out this fencing wire all wrapped up here. There's a horseshoe sitting on the ground. At times it can get very harsh out here. Somebody could have buried their old mate here. Whether it be person or dog. Like that trough, I've seen better days. Oh, dingo wandering around in the bush over there. Crikey. Amazing bit of scenery. just to the north of Inaminka. We're going to check out Burke and Wills dig tree. Just out of Inaminka. Found a billabong right on the, right near the dig tree. Just out of Inaminka. There's Percival over there having a rest. Already been swimming around all day. Or gliding around on the air currents. Yeah, his sister over here is having a feed or something. Must be something pretty good over there to eat. Settling in for the afternoon. So this billabong here is actually on the Cooper Creek. Now, way back in 1860, 61, a couple of fellas by the name of Burke and Wills decided they were going to do a trek overland from Melbourne to the Gulf of Carpentaria, a distance of about 2,250 kilometres. No mean feat. Now, at that time, inland, that part of inland Australia hadn't been explored except by indigenous people. The party took 23 horses and 26 camels with them. They took with them 20 tonnes of equipment and enough tucker to last them 4 years. It took another couple of fellas with them by the name of King and Gray, and left a fella by the name of Bray here to look after the depot and the others. They took 6 camels, a horse and enough tucker for about 3 months. It was pretty warm when they left. They trekked through the Strzelecki and Stony Desert where it was up to 50 degrees during the day, and there are very little trees to hide under out there. Bray was told to wait 3 months for their return. They made it up to the Gulf, and on the way back, Gray suffered from dysentery and died. Anyway, Burke and Wills and King made it back to Cooper's Creek, only to find the camp abandoned. They found a tree there with dig blazed on it. Bray had buried some stores in a container. They were too worn out. They couldn't chase after Bray to catch him up. They decided to rest and recuperate, living off the supplies that were left by Bray. Wills and King wanted to travel back to Menindee, but Burke didn't want to, and decided to attempt to reach the furthest outpost of pastoral settlement in South Australia, a cattle station near Mount Opos. Towards the end of 1861, The three men were following the Cooper Creek upstream to find the Yandawarada campsite. Wills became too weak to continue. He was left behind on his own insistence at Brearley Waterhole with some food, water and shelter. Burke and King continued upstream for another 2 days until Burke became too weak to continue. Next morning he died. King stayed with his body for 2 days and then returned downstream to Brearley Waterhole where he found Wills had died as well. There's a blaze of Burke, carved by John Dick. This is the original dig tree that has no, well, the blaze has grown over. And this tree here had a blaze in it like this one, done by Howlett's party. He came back in 1862.